You have 3 options on how you can pay housekeepers. If you want to pay them in trident layers, you technically have 4. In this video, I'm going to show you the 3 different types of compensation structures that are typical for a role like a housekeeper, and what the pros and cons are for those compensation structures, because you actually get a different work style and you're providing a different type of workplace based on how you pay people. And this is super important to run your Airbnb short-term rental business. I have over 100 properties, and at scale, I've hired a lot of housekeepers, and we've had to pay some in some interesting ways at different phases of our growth. This video is going to help you grow your Airbnb business because the housekeepers are the core of your whole business. They are the center of your business. And I have over 14 years of experience hiring, training, firing, paying people between management and small business ownership experience. So by the end of this video, I'm pretty sure that you're going to find out that the one core method of how you should pay your housekeepers is different than the one you're doing. And hopefully I'll be showing you that third option that you haven't even considered yet, and it's highly usable in some situations. Sean Rakic, Airbnb Automated. Strap in and let's jump in. Welcome back, Airbnb family. So please like the video, share with your friends, post it on social media. You know, all the good supportive stuff that you can do to help this video survive. I really do appreciate it. By the way, do you like my painting? I just did this painting as a video to show that you can make your own paintings for your Airbnb, especially if you want to do like luxe and not pay thousands of dollars in decor. This was a disaster, and I'm still gonna post the video, so enjoy it when it comes later on. Now, the 3 different types of compensation structures, let me just tell you the different types of pay, but why they matter and how they're usable can kind of bend your mind a bit here. If you're not like HR experienced, you want this video. You can pay somebody salary, you can pay somebody hourly, or you can pay somebody piecemeal. And piecemeal is either like commission or by the job, okay? But you're measuring in units instead of hours or like in salary pay. Now, the rarest one that you're going to use is salary. Let me start with the one that you're probably used to, which is paying people by the job. Now, the reason why most Airbnb hosts start by paying people by the job is because that's how contracting typically works in the housekeeping space. You have an apartment, you want to have it cleaned, you call up like Mary Maids or something, and they give you a quote for the job. This is what is most normal, but this is business to consumer, one-off, transactional type of work. But a lot of Airbnb hosts start with that. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. And I do believe that even if you have your own internal team of housekeepers or you're doing something else, you should always keep a couple of these companies on standby, because you never know if you're gonna need a housekeeper last minute, and them quoting you a price for the job might still be cheaper than not getting your place cleaned, right? But paying people by the job in housekeeping is the most expensive, right? So I think the place for by the job is to have vendors on standby, that you know what their going rate's going to be if you call them last minute, and you know that you can have a controlled cost to get the place clean at that price, you know, hell or high water per se. But after that controlled cost part, it's all downhill from there, or it's I guess you could say it's all uphill, because there's no extra upside to paying somebody by the job. Because when you pay somebody by the job, here's the hard parts about it. You're gonna pay them whether or not the job was good, right? So there's no incentive for them to stay longer to do a better job. If you ask them to do extra things for you that are not typical to a typical housekeeping, they will probably try to charge you more money, right? So now you're gonna pay more than a normal housekeeping because you're asking them to do more stuff. And if you guys run with my system, you guys know that the housekeepers, they're the bread and butter of the business, and they do so much more than just cleaning. So you're going to have a problem at scale paying all this extra money. But even some of the biggest companies in the world, like Sonder, they use contractors but like in almost an entirety, which is like my one biggest gripe against them, but it also is the one thing that I think is my competitive advantage. So as I go after Sonder and try to put somebody like them out of business, I'm gonna do a better job competing on cost. Now the second one is a super rare one. It's one that you like might use transitionally here or there. And this is especially helpful for those of you who are small and you wanna get your first housekeeper, but you don't know if you can give them enough work. I did a hybrid of this, so there's kind of 2 ways to play this game, but like follow along on this. So let's say you've got a few houses and you're paying somebody or company like $150 per house to clean those houses. But you know if you paid somebody by the hour, you can get it done cheaper, but the problem is paying somebody by the hour, you probably need to give them at least 20 hours of work a week, 30 hours of work a week for them to feel good. So let's say you have 4 or 5 house cleanings a week, right? At $150 a pop, that's $750 a week. So if you pay somebody's salary $450 a week, you can save $300 on your housekeeping. Now, you don't always know that there's going to be exactly 5 housekeepings. There might be 6 one week, there might be 3 one week. So you decide that you're gonna go with this $400 a week salary and pay somebody. And so some days they won't come into work because there's nothing to clean. Some days they'll be working 7 or 8 hours to get the cleaning done, for example. Now this is under the assumption that one person could clean entire houses, which is actually a little bit of a fallacy, but I think you get my point. You could actually hire 2 separate housekeepers at say $250 a week salary, like an agreed upon part-time salary, and let them know that like Sundays are always a day, and Fridays are probably gonna be a day, and Thursdays are probably gonna be a day, that they're most likely going to be working say 20 hours a week at most, but you don't know if you'll always have business for them, so you're just gonna do that $250 a week guarantee. It's going to be more expensive than paying them hourly, but they get this advantage of a safety net. So where this salary kind of comes into play is you're trying to give stability to somebody in order to get them to work for you for cheaper, right? So the pay by the cleaning is like $100, $150, $200 of cleaning to this company, and they don't care if you only pay them for one job and never talk to them again. They got their rate from you. But as you start to develop longer relationships where you're starting to try to get a discount from people, you want to find a new structure. And salary is that good, I'm small, I can't guarantee you work, but I can guarantee you money. Right? And if I happen to have a super busy week, please hang in there, your salary still counts, and you're trying to average over the course of a month, you're trying to get, instead of paying, $35 to $50 an hour for your housekeeper because you paid by the job, you might be able to get them for $20, $25 per hour. And if you could get them for less than $20 an hour because you like set up your salary correctly, you're doing really good by paying less than $20 an hour for a salaried housekeeper. Right? This is the beginning of you starting to operate at scale. Isn't this exciting? So I want you to do the math on this one, all of you small Airbnb operators, and just take a look at how much you're paying for your housekeeping. Now, I want you to try to discern how many hours are actually spent cleaning your place and then divide that by the number of hours. And you might have like a $2,000 per month housekeeping bill, and you divide that, and like they're only working say 40 hours a week on your $2,000 a month, and you're paying $50 an hour. So then what I want you to try to do is try to decide how many hours a week that actually looks like. Do I want to hire 1 or hire 2 part-time housekeepers and offer them a salary at say 50 to 60% of whatever your current housekeeping costs are. That's a good step forward, and now you're starting to get competitive on price, and that's a big thing that we've always talked about on this channel. You're on the way to number 3. So by the way, guys, please like this video. Let me remind you, and there is a share arrow, and just put it onto social media just for funsies. Share to your favorite, hosting group, wherever you host in, like your local one. So the third one is hourly, and this is the one that I preach all of the time. And there's a lot that you can do by paying your housekeepers hourly, but there's a lot of responsibility on you as well. So paying hourly for your housekeepers is like the top of the like food chain when it comes to running your business. You're getting a highly cost-effective cleaning if you do it right, but there's a lot of management that goes into play, but there's a good amount of give and take. We pay $12 an hour for our housekeepers, right? As opposed to what everybody else pays. So our 1-bedroom cleaning costs are about $22, $23 per turnover. Okay, because 1-bedrooms or studios, they don't take a lot of time to clean. You do have to solve the problem of linens and sheets and cleaning those in bulk at scale. That can be an issue, but that's not for this video. We're talking about cleaning the apartment. You can always just remove the sheets, clean them off site, and bring some other back. There's a company out of Milwaukee now called AIRBNB. It's like a little startup. Well, they'll do the laundry for you, but they're just in Milwaukee right now. So point is, even hotels do their laundry off site because it slows housekeepers down, and they pay their housekeepers by the hour. It's a system here. Now, the cool thing about paying somebody by the hour is if you want them to do extra things, like I have a 5-step cleaning system I teach my students, and the first 2 steps have nothing to do with cleaning. We're doing what I would call a wellness check on the property. So they're checking to make sure the TV works. A lot of people forget to turn on the TV, and if somebody breaks the TV, you can't get that money back unless you check the TV before the next guest checks in, right? So your housekeepers should be turning on the TV and messing with all the electrical to make sure nobody broke anything. And if light bulbs have burned out, stuff like that, who's checking these things? If a company that you pay by the job is doing housekeeping, they're gonna clean the whole place, and you might convince them to do a couple extras, but they're not gonna turn on every single light switch in the house to make sure none of the bulbs are burned out, right? You're trying to give a 5-star experience. You need to equip your housekeepers with the tools to do so. So by paying somebody by the hour, if it takes them an extra 30 to 45 minutes to do the job because they're doing non-housekeeper stuff, that's okay. You've just paid an extra $6 or $9 per cleaning to have a de facto property manager in there every single time that there's a cleaning. And guys, you know that housekeepers do so much extra work. Like if a guest doesn't check out on time, they're waiting around for the guest to check out. You might ask them to like help shuffle that guest out. That's not a regular housekeeping company's job, is it? Okay, so you get the point here. Housekeepers do so much more than housekeeping. So paying them by the hour, you can keep adding arbitrary tasks to their plate. You're just going to pay them more to get it done because you're paying by the hour. And the cool thing about this too is if you ask them to slow down and to do a good job, they don't have any ill will about that, because somebody who's doing working salary or they're getting paid by the job, there is no incentive for them to slow down because they're not getting paid a single dollar more. So if they don't agree with you and you're asking them to slow down and make less money per hour because their pay's flat, you're gonna have an issue with them. But by paying somebody by the hour, if you say, hey, slow down and do X, Y, Z, do it better, take more photos of the place, like all this kind of stuff, they're gonna be like, all right, cool, I'm on the clock. I'll take as much time as you want, champ. If you want to pay me an extra $50 by the end of the week, I'm cool with that. And see, that allows for a much more real relationship between you and the housekeepers. Now, at a high level, I do all sorts of stuff with like backup cleaners, having people on call, what they get paid can change, the holiday pay, all this different stuff. Working on an hourly structure is really, really cool, and it allows you to give people raises, which is good for like the life cycle of the business. There's a lot that you can do with hourly. So what I'm going to tell you is the drawbacks of hourly is, you can have people sit around and spend 4 hours cleaning a place, 5 hours, 8 hours cleaning a place where they shouldn't have spent nearly that much time, and you have to pay them the 8 hours of pay for a job that only took 2 hours. And then you have to fire that person and find somebody new who can get the job done on time. And so we have like a quota managing thing. So yes, your costs can run out of control if you don't manage your people well. But if you want to grow your business, like seriously guys, if you want to have 5, 10, 15, 30 properties, you are going to be managing people, or you're going to hire somebody that's going to be managing people. So paying by the hour is going to be the move, as long as you can effectively manage people and keep them motivated, keep them happy, keep them from just hanging out all day. So if you have questions about my housekeeping protocols, my systems, put them in the comments. I also welcome you to join the Hosts of Airbnb Automated group. It's a closed Facebook group called the Hosts of Airbnb Automated, like the YouTube channel. We've got over 15,000 people in there, tons of hosts. We do a lot of smart kid stuff, and we debate these topics all the time. We actually debate a lot of topics and try to really discern what are the best practices for hosts across the world. So your next bit of homework, if you guys are going from pay by the job to salary, what I want you to do is I want you to start looking around to see, can you hire a housekeeper at $14, $12, $10 an hour by running Facebook job ads, and see who responds to job ads at different price points. And you can start to see what is a competitive hourly price I can get my housekeepers at, and you can start to plan to build that out. You really want to prepare a good system for this. And knowing what you can get your people for is, obviously you want to get your people at the best price for you possible, but a price that they won't just go quit and work for someone else. There's a balance here. But also being an awesome boss and having great company culture is a factor in that too. People don't just leave for the money. We will also talk about company culture in a future video. Thank you for watching this one. Remember, please triple asked for the like on this video, and of course share this one with your friends if you found that this video was helpful, or you think that somebody's having a housekeeping problem. Give them this video, and as always, I will see you on the other side.